I really didn't know that I wanted to be an actor until I was a senior in high school. I mainly did musicals because I was more interested in the music aspect of things. But the more into acting I get, the more interesting I find it. I'm Jordan Crow, and I'm a BFA acting major.
The predominant thing, everybody needs to pay attention to this, that is not working right.
I just assumed it's West Virginia. How could it have better programs than some of the bigger states that are more involved in theater? But really, you have to look and see what sort of professors you have. You have to look and see what sort of education you're actually going to get and what sort of trainings you're going to get. Because I know a lot of different schools that will teach acting, but they don't teach different methods.
Nikolai Lvovich, please, don't talk to me about love.
And if a certain method doesn't work for you, then you can get very stuck.
With tomorrow is going to be getting the rigging cages finished up so that way we can put them up into the grid. Because there's such a divide between high school tech and college tech in a wide, really wide span. And it blew my mind away. My name is Garrett Weigel. I'm a major in theater design technology with an emphasis in technical direction. I'm very thankful for the classes I've been able to take because you start out your freshman year, you're in stagecraft, you're in costuming, and you start to learn the basics of how to do stuff. And then each year it gets a little bit more in depth, and you take design classes and scenic design classes and lighting design classes and lighting class. I took hand drafting, I took AutoCAD, computer-aided drawing.
You can weld these in at the angle you want, so when you drop it, you can figure that in CAD. Go in your CAD and go, okay, I need a bar to get here and there.
Yeah. I took technical production, theater, health, and safety, and like each one of those classes, I learned a very crucial amount of skills.
For me, this is a harder character than what I've played before, so I was quite concerned about it, to be honest with you. But just being comfortable and making decisions, and Jerry sets a very calm atmosphere in rehearsal of just play around, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll go back and find something else that does.
It still works really well because the more casually you can feel his presence in the room and then just very normally try to leave.
Okay. Maybe I'm remembering like earlier in the process, but you were like, that's when you get like flustered and you just like don't know what to do, and the last thing you have to do is like sit down. But just really experimenting on where a character would go and how a character would naturally get themselves out of circumstances that they might not want to be in. We've done a lot of work of how to create the character without completely being ourselves, and how the people would have been very good at conversation where we are so much into our phones and stuff like that, where their art was conversation.
Oh, a glass of vodka here, please. Oh. And a toast. It's a great life if you don't weaken.
Because my task is I'm technical director for the show. I take the designer's thoughts and I take his imagination, what he's drawn on paper, and I make it a reality. The designer wants a forest inside a Russian Victorian house, a living room, and it slowly starts to grow. And so we start out, he wants these tall birch trees going in this living room, and he wanted all this tracking scenery that would track in and out. And so my challenge was, all right, well, how can I do that on an affordable scale for us? And so how it's constructed is that it has a 2x2 box steel frame which goes all the way up through the grid. So our grid's at like 18 feet and these are like 19 feet. And so we made a grid square which pops into there, allowing a little hole, so that way when they're up there it has a little bit of movement, but it's not going to go anywhere.
Using the steel for the ones that have to move gave us the structural strength that we're not worried about any sort of breakage when we bring them out and take them out with the audience.
I have a fantastic mentor and teacher, Stephen Schwander, who is an abundant source of knowledge that has really allowed me to mold myself and learn from my mistakes, and been a really great teacher.
My sophomore year, you start taking voice, and a lot of the things you have to have an open mind about, because if anyone else, especially not in the theater world, would walk into that class, they would probably not understand any of the work that we were doing. And I think that was very hard for me to sit there and be told to breathe in different colors and to make different noises and somehow just trust that it was going to work into my acting techniques.
Hello, you do it too. Okay. Hello, big boy.
Hello, big boy.
Oh,
Hello.
that ho. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how with just certain breathing or with relaxing tension in your jaw, your neck, or things like that that we look over in everyday life for the most part, can release so much energy and emotion.
While other people are doing final papers and they have these finals that are this test where they go and sit down for an hour and they write out stuff, my final is a show. My final is I am building this platform, I'm building this project, I'm designing this set, I'm making this light design, and it's either it works or it doesn't. We are real world. I'm working on Three Sisters. I'm designing this show. This isn't theoretical. I'm taking what is on a piece of paper and I'm making it this object that people are going to see, that people are going to get to use and judge and be like, wow, I want to do that. Or like the payoff when it turns out great, like it's phenomenal. That's my favorite moment of going to see it opening night and getting done and driving home and be like, I did that.